we're the co-designers of Philosophia,
a brand new tabletop experience for 1 to 6 players set in ancient Greece.
In this video, we're going to give you all the information you need to get started playing as fast as possible.
And don't forget, there's lots of free ways to play Philosophia right now, so head to our website, philosophiagame.com.
Thanks for watching.
First, place the main game board in the centre of the table with the correct side for your number of players, as indicated by the number in the lower left-hand corner of the board.
Next, take a player board, its corresponding miniature and wooden tokens. Place the 4 school tokens and the 9 following tokens in the indicated space on the player board. You will need to set up a player board and miniature for each player in this manner. In this example, we're setting up for a 2-player game.
Collect your character's 3 wisdom cards and place them face down, with the red padlock facing up, near your board. These are currently locked.
Place your miniature into the starting location indicated on your player board.
Next, take the location tokens and place them randomly onto the board with the bonus side face down onto locations that correspond with their colour, like this.
Shuffle the sophistry and syllogism card decks separately and place them on the board in their corresponding location.
Separate the oracle cards into 3 piles, Delphi, Trophonius, and Dodona, and place them face down near the main board. The difference between these cards is indicated by the name and the sky colour found on the back of the cards.
Shuffle the Athena discs and place them face up in their corresponding location at the bottom of the board. Give each player a random Olympic request card, which they should keep a secret.
Give each player a reference card. Remember, this step is not needed if you are experienced players.
Put the money, study, sophist, labyrinth, builder and debate winning tokens near the board within easy reach of the players. These piles will be referred to as the general supply.
Place the hourglass token at 1194 BC, far left in the top right hand corner of the main board.
Give each player their starting items as indicated by their player board.
Choose a starting player by the one to have most recently had an argument, or randomly. On your turn, you must do 2 things. First, you must move, and second, you must take an action.
You start each turn by moving to a new location on the board. The locations are any of the circle locations indicated on the map. You may move to any location as long as it is not currently occupied by another player. On moving to a new location, if you move to a location which contains another player's school, then, if you're able, you must pay that player 1 coin. If you do not have any coins, then there is no charge for entering the location.
If you move to a location that still has its location disc available, you must flip this location disc and look for the icon on the other side. This is a one-time bonus that is available to you. You now have a choice. You can either take that bonus, in which case you take the indicated bonus and place it by your player board, or you can take the location tile and place it into the equivalent section on your player board. If you do this, you do not get to claim the one-time bonus.
If you are in the Acropolis at the start of your turn, you may remain in the Acropolis, but cannot remain at the same Acropolis location. There are 4 different Acropolis locations.
After moving to a new location, you must now take 1 action. – Actions are where the majority of the game occurs.
There are 13 different actions available in the game, although some are only possible in specific locations. These rules are indicated in the lower left-hand corner of the board and on the reference cards.
The first action we're going to look at is the tutor action. When you enter a new town, you may spend your turn earning money by tutoring the children of the local elites. To do this, you take the tutor action and you collect 1 coin, plus an extra coin for each wisdom card you have unlocked throughout the game. There is no cost to perform this action. You should just note here that money is not intentionally limited in Philosophia, and in the rare cases where you run out, you should use a suitable alternative.
On moving to a new location, you may take your turn to generate support for your ideas in your area of the map. To do this, take a following cube from your player board and place it in your location. There is no cost for this action, however you may only do this on locations where you do not already have a following. You also must have a following cube available on your player board.
Next action is hiring a builder. If you want to build schools, you're going to need a builder to do so. To get one, take the hire a builder action. Pay 2 coins to take a builder token from the general supply. You may only ever have a maximum of 4 of these tokens.
Building schools helps you get victory conditions and money, as people entering a location with your school must pay you a coin, if they are able to. To do this, take the build school action. You will pay 1 builder token to the general supply to place one of your 4 school tokens onto your current location. Remember, if you do not have a builder token, or if there is already a school of any colour on your location, you may not take the builder school action.
The next action is hiring a sophist. Sophists were professional debaters in ancient Greece. They can help you convert other teachers' followings into your own. To do this, you pay 1 coin to the general supply in order to collect a sophist token.
Let your sophist loose in the current location. Pay 1 sophist token to the general supply, and you may take a following cube of your choice from the location you are in and replace it with one of your own. The opponent's following cube will go back on their player board. You may only perform this action if there are other players' following cubes on your current location.
Our final standard action is collecting a labyrinth token. If you have satisfied one of the 6 criteria to collect a labyrinth token, then you may take one from the general supply as your turn. Now this is important. Once you have a labyrinth token, you cannot lose it, even if you no longer possess the criteria for which you earned it. However, if you lose the criteria for the labyrinth token before you claim it, then you cannot claim the token until you have once again satisfied that criteria. And also remember, if you achieve all of your criteria on your Olympic request card, then you may collect 3 labyrinth tokens by only performing this action once. In all other cases, you can only take 1 token at a time. You'll also notice that there are 2 different types of labyrinth token: regular labyrinth tokens and numbered labyrinth tokens. On satisfying your first 2 victory conditions, you should collect the regular labyrinth tokens. But when you satisfy your 3rd victory condition, you should collect a numbered labyrinth token. You should also collect the labyrinth token with the lowest available number on it. This will become very important in the final debate, which we'll discuss soon.
There are 2 types of locations that enable the player to perform special actions. These are the temples, the red outline locations, and the oracles, the green outline locations.
The special action you can take in temples is the study action. You're a great thinker and you need time to develop your ideas. Whilst in the tranquil calm of a temple, you may pay 4 coins to perform the study action. This means that you will collect a study token as a sign of the time you have spent reflecting on the great mysteries of life. If you already have a study token in your possession, then your study action will be to exchange that token for one of the wisdom cards you collected during setup. Simply return that token to the general supply and turn one of your wisdom cards face up. revealing the green padlock on the other side. This wisdom card is now unlocked.
The second type of special action is the Collect an Oracle card action. You can take this action when you move to a green Oracle location. First, you must check which Oracle it is by reading the name above it. Secondly, you should take the deck that corresponds to the Oracle location you have moved to. You look through it and select one card to keep, replacing the rest. Oracle cards can give you special abilities and bonuses. These are clearly explained on each of the cards. This is important. You may perform the Collect an Oracle card action only once in each Oracle location, so time it well.
The final type of action are those available in the Acropolis. Acropolis locations differ from all other locations in three important ways. First, when you enter the Acropolis in Athens, you may no longer perform any of the standard or special actions. However, depending upon your location in the Acropolis, you may perform any one of the 4 Acropolis actions. The second difference is, Acropolis locations do not get location discs placed on them at the start of the game. The final difference is, schools and following cubes cannot be placed on Acropolis locations. Other than these points, Acropolis locations should be treated the same as all other locations.
The first Acropolis action is Observe the Debaters. There is much to learn from listening to others debate. Place your character here to take either 2 sophistry cards or 1 syllogism card from the game board. These will help you win public debates, which are discussed later.
Second Acropolis action is the Progress the Timeline action. Place your character here to move forward through the timeline of ancient Greece. Take this action to move the Hourglass token 1 space to the right on the timeline section of the main board. You cannot move it to the last spot, 146 BC, until you have received your 3rd labyrinth token. Remember, if the timeline moves to 146 BC, and only one player has 3 labyrinth tokens, then that player is the winner of the game. If, as is more common, multiple players have 3 labyrinth tokens, then the winner is decided by a final debate.
The third Acropolis action is the Athena Offering action. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and protector of Athens, is the favoured god of the philosophers. An offering to her can have a large one-time benefit. This action allows you to start an auction for an Athena disc. To get this reward, one of the players must take the Athena Offering action in the Acropolis. The disc at the top of the Athena pile is usually the one available to bid on. However, the player taking the Athena Offering action may decide to remove the top disc to the bottom of the pile and instead start an auction for the newly revealed disc below it. However, they may not look at the new disc before making this choice.
The auction works as follows. First, each player secretly selects an amount of coins they would like to bid for the disc. Players may discuss with each other and deal make during this phase, but they are not required to stick to any deals made. Once ready, each player reveals how much they have bid. The player with the highest bid, this player, immediately gains the disc's indicated reward. The disc is placed to the bottom of the pile and the next disc is revealed. All losing players keep their money, but the winner must pay the amount they bid to the general supply.
The final Acropolis location allows you to take the Initiate a Public Debate action. Place your character here to start a public debate to prove your ideas superior to those of your opponents. When taking the public debate action, you must choose one opponent to argue with. They cannot refuse the challenge. You will then start the debate, which works as follows.
First, the player who initiated the debate must play 1 sophistry or syllogism card face up between the 2 debaters. The challenge player then has 2 options: play a card of their own or end the debate. If they play a card of their own, then the players must look to see if it beats the card that was played initially. This is indicated at the top of both of the cards. The player that wins this round takes both cards face up into a temporary discard pile next to their player board.
The challenger then has the option to play a card or end the debate. If they play a card, the process above repeats, with the player commencing the debate playing a card of their choice, and the players checking to see who won that round and taking the cards accordingly. This process continues with debating players switching who goes first in each round.
Should any round end in a draw, then each player would take one card into their temporary discard pile.
When both players have decided not to play any more cards, the debate is over. The player with the most cards in their temporary discard pile is the winner. The winner takes a debate winning token and places it on their board. If the debate ends with both players having an equal amount of cards in their temporary discard pile, then the player who initiated the debate is declared the winner. After the debate, all used cards are shuffled back into their respective sophistry and syllogism decks, and oracle cards used in the debate go back into the box.
Philosophia is a game with multiple paths to success. There are 7 different ways of getting labyrinth tokens. The first way of getting labyrinth tokens is by achieving all the criteria laid out in your Olympic request card, as we mentioned earlier. This method allows you to get all 3 of your labyrinth tokens.
You can start to spread your ideas in city-states, ports, oracles, and temples. Develop a following in 9 separate locations to gain a labyrinth token. Place all 9 of the follower cubes onto 9 different locations using the create a following action. Followings can be created in any location except the 4 Acropolis locations and any location where you already have a following.
The greatest thinkers in ancient Greece would often build schools to share their ideas. Build 4 schools in 4 different locations using the build school action to be eligible to claim a labyrinth token. Schools can be built on any location except the 4 Acropolis locations and any location in which a player has already built a school. There can only ever be a maximum of 1 school per location.
Travel broadens the mind. Get all of a particular colour of location token to be eligible to claim a labyrinth token. There are 5 different types of locations: Western cities, Eastern cities, oracles, temples, and ports. Simply arrive in one of these locations and take the disc onto your player board. This is the quickest way to claim a labyrinth token. But be subtle. This approach can be easily blocked by other players. If you don't get all of the possible tokens of one colour, you cannot claim the labyrinth token.
The next method of getting a labyrinth token is through debates. You can gain one by winning 3 public debates. Build up your debating skills by collecting sophistry and syllogism cards, then take the public debate action in the Acropolis to challenge another player to a debate. If you win, you get a debate winning token. If you get 3 of these, then you can claim a labyrinth token on a future turn.
Each of the characters has 3 wisdom cards. At the start of the game, these face quote side up with the red padlock in the bottom right corner facing you. This indicates that they are locked. You can unlock these by performing the study action in a temple to gain a study token. This costs 4 coins. Then, on a future turn, you can repeat the study action in a temple, thereby trading that token in. You may now flip one of your wisdom cards to the green unlocked position. If you manage to unlock all 3 of your character's wisdom cards, then you can claim a labyrinth token on a future turn. The cards themselves have real teachings from your character and are worth a read.
There are 3 oracle cards named Favors of the Oracle. If you get all 3 of these, then you are eligible to claim a labyrinth token on a future turn. There is also an Acropolis disc available known as the Unknown Oracle, which works as a 4th chance to gain a Favors of the Oracle card. But there is no guarantee that this will appear in the game. Once you have achieved your third labyrinth token, you should try to move the timeline forward to 146 BC as fast as possible. This is because if you are the only player who has achieved their third numbered labyrinth token, then you will be the winner. If more than one player has achieved 3 labyrinth tokens by the time the timeline reaches 146 BC, then the game winner will be decided by a final public debate. Final debates work exactly the same as regular public debates, with a few important differences. Firstly, tied games will be decided by the player with the lowest numbered labyrinth token being declared the winner. Secondly, there may be more than 2 players involved in the final public debate. Here's an example of how that will work. Player with the highest numbered labyrinth token will go first, and they will play a round with the player with the second highest numbered labyrinth token. This will run as normal. The player with the second highest numbered labyrinth token will then play a round with the player with the third highest numbered labyrinth token, and so on, depending on how many players are involved in the final debate. Once you reach the player that has the number 1 numbered labyrinth token, they will play a round with the person who has the highest numbered labyrinth token, thus completing the circle. Play will continue in this fashion until all players have passed. As players pass during the debate, they should then be ignored and play should continue as if they are not there. The debate is over. Whoever has the highest number of cards in their temporary discard pile is declared the winner. In the case of a tie, as mentioned before, it will be the player who has the lowest numbered labyrinth token of the tied players.
And that's all you need to know in order to play Philosophia.
If you do have any questions about anything you've seen in this video, then please feel free to get in contact with us via the comments, or you can contact us directly from our website, philosophiagame.com.
We are really excited to launch soon on Kickstarter, so please watch this space.